G'day folks, in this video I'm going to show you how to solve a 3x3x3 Rubik's Cube very simply. This is one of two possible options that I've got, and this video is going to be using just one algorithm, and it's 4 moves, and we're basically going to do, it's a little bit slightly different to the other version. So just to let you know, the other version is solving all of the edges first and forgetting about the corners and then solving all of the corners. In this version, going to be slightly different. I am sort of going to solve the edges first, but I'm going to solve some corners along the way. So it's going to be a little bit of a hybrid of a couple of things, but it only uses one 4-move algorithm. The other version will use 2 algorithms. This one just uses 1. Now, of course, when I say that, obviously there are setup moves and stuff as well. In other words, when I come to place some pieces of the white cross, I'm going to do things like this. There's a white blue, I might turn that up to the top. Well, technically, I guess that's an algorithm, but I'm not talking about little moves like that. I'm talking about things that you need to remember as far as sequences go, just the one of them. Now let me begin by addressing the white cross. Of course, it doesn't have to be white, but I'm doing it because that's what I'm used to. I don't want to gloss over that, and if you've never picked up a cube before and you don't know how to do the white cross, it's not actually that obvious necessarily. So the way that I do it is just to firstly look to see if there are any white edges that are on the bottom face with their white sticker on the bottom. And here we can see I've got one, but it doesn't have its white sticker on the bottom, so that's not what I'm talking about. There's none there, so next I'll see whether there are any white edges. So here's a white-orange edge that are in the middle layer. And when I find one of them, I want to just turn it down to the bottom so that the white sticker is on the bottom face. So very simply. Now, note that even if this was a white edge that's already in place, it doesn't matter. So I'm going to turn that down so that this white sticker is on the bottom. That edge has come there. Now if I need to keep that edge in that position, I can just turn the bottom face around like that and then return that edge up to there. So it's not going to displace what we've done, but you'll notice now I do have a white edge on the bottom. Once it's like that, I turn it around so it is underneath the correct face here, so in this case the orange face, and I then just do 2 turns to put it up to the top face. So with the white cross, it's not enough just to have a white sticker on the top and another piece here. This has to match that center. So I'd next look and see if there's any more in the center. So here's a great example. I've got this white blue and I want to put the white blue down to there so that the white sticker is in that position. So I'm going to do that. You'll notice that I've knocked the white orange out, and so because of that I'd like to put it back, so I'm just going to turn the white blue off and then turn the white orange back. So that white orange that I placed is still there. The white blue is now in position and it happens to be lined up next to its correct center, so I now turn that up to the top. Here's a white red, got the same deal here, and so again I can turn that to the bottom. I turn it off and then return the white blue to its position, and once again the white red has landed here, so I turn it up to the top. This is far too easy at the moment, so we'll make sure that we show some others. Here's a good one that's very different. So in actual fact this is probably the only other one that you need to know, because let's just imagine for a minute that this piece is here. Functionally, it's the same as if it was there, because we've got the white sticker on this front face and not on the top or the bottom. Alright, so that's where it was. I'll put those back to where they belong. So I've got to put this piece in here. Now, there's a simple way to do it, which I'm not going to show here because I want more to be thinking about how we might approach this. Now you remember that I said if we have a white piece in the middle layer, we can deal with it from there. And so that's what I want to achieve now. So what I'm going to do is turn that white piece under the face so that I can freely turn this face. And you can see there that it's not going to affect any of the white edges that I've already done. So now that I can do that, I just turn it up to the middle layer. It's in the middle layer and I'm now ready to go and do exactly what I've been doing. Place it down to the bottom, turn it off, return this piece. Now I've got my white green in position, I can turn it up to the top, and that completes the white cross. Now obviously you can do it much quicker and probably in a whole bunch of different ways than that, but as far as just thinking through it simply, I think that's reasonably simple. Now once the white cross has happened, then the next thing I'm going to do is place 3 of the white corners. It doesn't matter, I just pointed to 4, but I really mean 3. It doesn't matter which 3. All you need to do is find a white corner that is on the bottom face and turn that underneath where it needs to go. So this is the white, red, blue corner. So I'm going to turn that around until it is underneath the red, blue section. So when I turn it up to here, it's going to be white, red, blue. Now there's a couple of options. In other words, the white sticker here is not on the bottom face. Here it's on this face, and so I think firstly, if I turned it up like this, I can see that the white sticker would not be on top. That's no good. If I turn it up like this, I can see that the white sticker would be on top. And so here is this algorithm that we're going to use over and over again. All I want to do is do up, up, down, down. And it's in. And you'll see it's not affected any of the other white pieces from the white cross, and it's put it into correct position. Here's another one, white, red, green. So I'm going to turn that underneath where it needs to go, and I see that it's got to go up like that. So that's the face that I turn first. Up, up, down, down. That's 2 of them in. Now because I want to show you one where you have a white sticker on the bottom, so I'm just going to pretend that I don't know about this. In actual fact, what I might do is just set up to make this white sticker on the bottom here. Alright, here we are with the white, green, orange and the white stickers on the bottom. When that happens, I want to turn it underneath where it needs to go. It's exactly the same as before. This time, instead of just doing an up, up, down, down, I want to do that 3 times. There was once, there's twice, and that of course is 3 times, and you can see that's now in place. So that's fairly straightforward. So now I've got 3 of those white corners done. The next thing I want to do, and from now I'm going to turn the cube upside down so the white face is on the bottom. And there's a very good reason that I've left this 4th corner blank. It's because I'm going to use that corner to help me place 3 of the edges in the middle layer. I'm not going to place this one. I'm going to leave that same edge, which is corresponding to this corner, blank as well. So I want to place this edge, which is above the correct corner, this edge above here, and this edge above here. And the reason that I left this corner blank is so that I can turn it around and it will not disturb the corner that I've already done. Now, when I think through this, I've just been using the algorithm up, up, down, down. That's my one algorithm. Now, if you think about this, that is exactly the same as going down, down, up, up. In other words, if I hold it like this with the white on the top and I go up, up, down, down. Remember that what I did there was turn this face up towards the white face. So I'm just going to hold it like that, turn it around. What would happen if I did exactly the same thing and I went down, down, up, up? It's precisely the same set of moves on the same set of pieces. So there's no difference between up, up, down, down, and down, down, up, up. And that's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to be doing a down, down, up, up. And I'm going to find, firstly, if I can see a green orange on the top. No, I can't. So I'm going to move around, look for the next one. Red, green. Is that on the top? Well, it's not. It's actually in there. So quite easy to get out. In fact, we might as well do that now to get that one out if you do have a piece in the middle layer where it's flipped. So what I want to do here is, here's where I had this 4th corner that I didn't want to solve. I turn that corner underneath the piece in question. And I now want to do down, down, up, up. Now I'm going to turn that corner back. And you can see that it has not disturbed the 3 white corners that I'd already done. That's the point of keeping that one clear. Now we can imagine that this green-red corner is ready to be placed into this position. All I want to do is turn it above the face where the sticker colour matches that face. So that's now there. So you can see there, if I leave it in that position, the red does not match the green there. So I need the red to match the red. Now that I've got it in that position, I bring back my corner that I'm using, and I now want to do a down, down, up, up. And the face that I want to turn first is the face such that this edge goes into position. In other words, I want to turn that down like that. That's the first face that I turn. Down, down, up, up. Now when I turn my bottom face back, so I return that corner, so this white, green, red corner is still there. You can see the red-green edge has been placed and it has not put that corner out. Now we notice here that I've got a blue-red edge. I want to place the blue-red into that position. So once again, this is what this corner is for. Move it there. And again, I want to make sure that the sticker colour here is matching the face here. And it is, and that tells me that this time it is this face which needs to turn first. Down, down, up, up. That's done. Let's turn. I could have done one turn the other way. That's back. You can see everything's looking pretty good here. I've really only now got this one to do the green-orange. So I'm going to find where that is. In this case, it's on the top. Now just imagine that the green-orange was here, right above where this corner was. Well, that's simple. That's like we did before. We just do a down, down, up, up to move it out of this middle layer onto the top layer. So as it is, I want to position my green-orange piece, not there. Yep, there. So the green is above the center. Then I want to bring my corner underneath and now do down, down, up, up. Now once that's done, I can turn the corner back. If I look around, I'm going to see that this little region here is not yet done, but everything else in the first two layers is complete. And that's been, I hope you'll agree, fairly painless so far. Now that leads me to sort of the next section. It's the last section of doing the edges. What I want to do is just note how many I've got to go. I've got 1, 2, 3 here, and I've got 2 more at the back. I want to get to the stage where I'm down to these last 3. So what I'm going to focus on first is these 2 at the back. I'm going to look and see that they are yellow, red, that's my first edge, and yellow, green. They are the 2 edges I'm interested in first. And remember, this is all about simplicity. So this is definitely not the quickest way, but it's the easiest way to understand it. What I want to do is have my desired edge, so in this case I'm going to focus on the yellow-red, in this position in the middle layer. Doesn't matter if it's red-yellow or yellow-red, that's irrelevant, just as long as the edge is in the middle layer here. And I'm going to think I could turn that edge up to the top in one of 2 ways. I could do it that way, so the yellow sticker lands on top, or I could do it that way, so the yellow sticker does not land on top. Now I'm trying to place this edge, so I need that yellow sticker to land on top. So I'm going to be turning it that way. If I turn it that way, it's landed into this position here, but I don't want it in that position there. I want it in this position. So what I'm going to do is firstly turn that position around, then turn my edge into its position, and then undo. And I've put it there. Now you can see the whites have come out, and so I need to undo that as well. Just to convince you, all of the first 2 layers that we had are still there. Now, if I look at it, that yellow-red is in position. That's been solved. Now that move there is actually pretty much the same move as the up, up, down, down, or the down, down, up, up. It's just in a slightly different form. But you don't even need to think of it as a move. All you need to do is say, well, I'm going to place this edge, and here we've got the yellow-green. Let's have a think about this, because that's the other one we've got here. It's got to go over to that position. This time I don't want to turn this face because the yellow sticker won't be on top. I want to turn this face. Before I turn that face, I want to bring the position of the yellow-green, which is this position here, around there. Then turn the yellow-green up to its position, then undo that to put the yellow-green there, and undo this to put the white pieces back. Now you'll see at this point that we've got those 2 desired edges are now in position. That's good. And that is going to leave us with one of about 4 different possibilities of things that can happen. And I'm going to tell you every single possibility. In fact, I'm going to say there's 5. The first one is that they are solved. Obviously, if they're solved, you move on with your life. The second one is, and I'm going to do these in the order that I think makes sense. So if this is not the correct thing that I've got at the moment, I'm going to set up for it. The second one is a 3 cycle where I have 2 edges that are oriented correctly. Now let me set up for that because this is not what's showing at the moment. Alright, well here we have the first of these cases. It's a 3 cycle, as I said, where 2 of the edges are oriented correctly. Now let me explain what I mean by that. These 3 edges all need to turn into a particular position. So this yellow-blue needs to turn into that position. In other words, I need to turn it around like that. And you can see that when it turns into that position, it is correctly oriented. What about the blue-orange? Where does that need to go? Well, that blue-orange needs to go down here. And when it turns into that position, it is correctly oriented. The third piece, the yellow-orange, that needs to go to this position. When it turns into this position, you can see that that is wrongly oriented. So that's what I mean by three edges where they are in a three cycle. In other words, these three edges need to cycle around like that. That's called a three cycle. And two of the edges are oriented correctly and the third one is not. Now to solve this situation using the same four moves, what we want to do is consider the direction that the edges are going. And so you can already see that the direction is this direction around like this. And then consider the third piece. And I want that third piece to be able to turn up to there, but it can't turn directly. If it turns directly, it's not going to place. And so when I get to this situation, I want to just turn the whole cube around and hold it in a particular, a particular way of thinking. And I can do this. I might as well do this because it's going to be a down, down, up, up, which will suit beautifully. Now what I'm doing here is the yellow-orange, you can see, has got to go to there. But instead of turning it directly, I want to turn it indirectly. In other words, I want to turn its position down to here and then turn the yellow-orange down to there. And so what I'm going to do is perform a down, down, up, up. You'll see when that's done, the three edges are solved. And I'm just going to undo that and talk through that a little bit again. You can see what happened was that by turning this piece here down, which was the yellow-orange position, by turning that down, instead of the yellow-orange edge going directly into that position, it had to go the indirect route. And so it turned down, and you can see as it does that, the yellow sticker matches with that center. That's what's going on there with that move. And you can really, it doesn't really matter how you hold the cube, as long as you understand that whatever that third piece is that's not correctly oriented, you need to turn the others in the direction that the pieces are going to go. So in other words, the yellow blue is going here. So I need to turn it like that, so that this piece turns second. That's going to turn up after it. So the yellow blue goes there, then the yellow orange, and then I undo those two moves. And that of course is just a down, down, up, up, or an up, up, down, down, just looked at in a different way. So if you have a three cycle like that, that's how you get out of it. Let me set up for the next situation. Well, in this situation we have a three cycle again, and we know that because the blue yellow has to go to this position, the yellow orange has to go to this position, and the blue orange has to go to this position. So that is a three cycle of those edges. However, we notice that all three of the edges are not correctly oriented. So no matter which one I turn, the blue yellow down to its position, that's not correct. The yellow orange up to here, no, that's flipped. And the blue orange over to here, that's also flipped. So all three of the edges are flipped. Now to get out of this one, all you need to do is do any down, down, up, up, so that you don't turn the pieces into their positions. In other words, I don't want to do a down, down, which would turn the blue yellow into that position. So I can hold it like this, but I'm happy enough to do a down, down, which turns this face first, because that's going to turn the blue orange edge into this position. So let's do that. Down, down, up, up. Now once that's done, when we assess what's going on, we'll see that we're back to really the first case where I've got another three cycle. The blue orange has to go there, and that is correctly oriented. The orange yellow has to go there, that is correctly oriented. And the third piece is not correctly oriented, and that's exactly what we want. So now we think, well, how do I set up for that? Or how do I hold the cube so that effectively I can do a down, down, up, up? Well, I just want to basically think this piece has to go there, not directly. So I need to do its position down first and then turn it onto its position. So here it comes, down, down, up, up. And that has dealt with that one. Let me set up for the next situation. Alright, well in this situation I've got two edges that are in their positions and flipped. So there's one of them, there's the other one. You'll see they don't need to go anywhere. Orange yellow is sitting right here where it belongs, blue yellow is right there where it belongs, but they are flipped. And the third edge is correctly positioned and oriented. This is also quite simple to get out of, and all we want to do is a down, down, up, up, where the two pieces that I'm turning down are the ones that need to flip. It doesn't matter whether I do this face first or this face first. So we just do a down, and I should say my third edge is this piece that surrounds the same corner. So this, this, and this. So down, down, up, up. And you can see once again that what that's done is left us with two pieces here that are oriented correctly, and a third piece which is not oriented correctly. So that yellow-orange, when I turn it up, that's not going to be correctly oriented, whereas the other two, that is, and this is. So again, how do I think of this? All I need to do is, if I want to hold it in a down, down, up, up scenario again, do it like this. So the position of the yellow-orange, which is here, turns down first. So there's my down, down, up, up. And that has dealt with that. And there's one last situation. Alright, well here we are for this last scenario that we've got. And this scenario, you'll see that these final three edges, one of the edges is in its position and correctly oriented. The other two edges are actually swapped. So this orange-green needs to go to here, and this orange-yellow needs to go to here. Now, that is not a 3-cycle. That is, as I said, a swap, which is a 2-cycle. If we have a 2-cycle, there's only one thing we can really do to get out of that 2-cycle, and that is to turn the upper face one turn. Just like that. Now, it doesn't matter which direction we turn it. I've just turned it clockwise there. We could also turn it anti-clockwise as long as it's one turn. Now, having done that, now that I want to complete it, I need to replace, because you'll notice the two edges that we would have had solved back here have now moved around to here. So I need to replace these two edges to there. Clearly, I can't just go like that, because that undoes my one-turn fix and leads me back to the same problem. So once I've made that one turn, I need to redo it using an even number of turns, using 4 turns. So now what I think is, well, that yellow-blue belongs in that position. I'm kind of back to replacing these edges. How did we do that at the start? And again, this is not the quickest and simplest, or not the quickest way, but I think it's certainly simple. You remember that we wanted these edges down in the middle, so I'm going to place it in the middle using a down, down, up, up. Down, down, up, up. There we go. The yellow-blue is now in the middle, and I can look at it and say, how do I get it into that position? Well, I note that it's got to turn up like that, and so once again I'm going to turn its position around, turn it up, then undo those moves. Now if you count those moves, they were 1, 2, 3, 4. That would be an even number of turns, and that's what I'm talking about here. So that's replaced the yellow-blue. Now I've got to replace the yellow-red. Where's that? It's here at the moment. I'm going to again put it down in the middle layer. And I'm stressing again, this is not the quickest way, but it's sort of the same consistent way all the time. So let's put it down in the middle layer with a down, down, up, up. There it is. Now, which direction, which face has to turn to get that yellow sticker to the top? It's got to be this face here. So that means I need to bring its position around to that face. I'll turn its position around. I'll put it onto its position. There's 2 turns, 3, 4. And by the way, even if you count those, the turns of the upper face as 2 turns each, then it would be 2 turns, 3 turns, 5 turns, 6. It's still an even number of turns. Now if we look at what's happened now, the yellow-red and the yellow-blue have been replaced. And now let's have a look at the 3 edges here. You'll notice now they are in a 3-cycle, and so that returns us to one of the scenarios that we've already looked at. In this case, it's the standard 3-cycle where 2 of the pieces are going into their position correctly oriented. There's one of them, there's the other, and the third piece needs to be flipped. So I'm going to hold it like this and do a down, down, up, up to turn the position of the yellow-orange down here first and then put it on. Down, down, up, up. And that covers all the cases that you could get in this scenario. So you remember that we had these 2 not yet done, but all the rest of the middle layer and the bottom layer done. And we were trying to solve these edges. We've now achieved that. The only thing left is these corners. we're going to use the same move, but this time I'm going to revert to an up, up, down, down. Remember I said it's the same move, it's just depending on your orientation of how you're holding the cube. So now what I want to do is consider in this position, I want there to be a yellow stickered piece. Now this is a yellow, orange, green, which actually belongs directly above it. There's no real problem doing that one first, so I'm going to do that one first. So I'm going to place the yellow, green, orange into this position using an up, up, down, down, just like I did with those white pieces a bit earlier. How do I do that? Up, up, down, down. There we go, that yellow, orange, green is in position. Now you may have noticed that some things have gone a little bit haywire down here. That's okay. What we're going to do is continue doing this, and just trust me, everything will come out at the end of it. So I now have that yellow, orange, green. I look in this position down here and I say, what do I have there? Yellow, orange, blue. So what I want to do now is just turn the upper face to place the yellow, orange, blue cornered position directly above it. You can tell it's yellow, orange, blue position because the edges match. Yellow, orange, yellow, blue. Now that I've done that, I again do an up, up, down, down. And because I had to turn the upper face to put it there, I'm going to turn it back. What do I have down here now? Yellow, blue, red. I'm going to turn that around. Is that yellow, blue, red? No, that's yellow, green, red. So I'll keep turning. There we go. There's the yellow, blue, red position. And I'm going to once again turn that up, 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 down, down. Then I'm going to return the upper face to put that back in its correct position. And now I've got a yellow, green, red. Now by the way, if you had a white corner down here, that would be no problem. Let's say there was a white corner here and a yellow one there. You would just turn that around and just do an up, up, down, down until you had a yellow corner here. And you'll notice interestingly that the edges on the bottom have come back, but the corners still haven't. So that's the sort of thing that's going to happen. So at the moment we've got the yellow, green, red. Right, so that's where things were. We've got the yellow, green, red at the bottom, and I need to turn the position to the top so that I can place the yellow, green, red. You'll remember earlier that if we had the sticker on the bottom, we had to do 3 up, up, down, downs. So let's do 3 of them. There we go. We've done 3. Now I'm going to turn that back to its position, and almost magically the cube is solved. Now that's a great result, and that's what you really want to happen, I guess. But of course it's not the only thing that can happen. So let me set up now for something that might happen. Alright, well here we are back to another situation, a bit more realistic, and we've got this final yellow corner, and it's on the bottom here, and I know that it's the yellow, red, green corner, so I need to turn its position around to be directly above it. Now I'm going to keep doing the same thing, so this has got to go up into that position, so I'm going to turn it up into that position. Up, up, down, down. Now, at this point, I'll again turn that upper face back so you can see all the corners on the upper face are complete. Clearly, the rest of the cube is not. At this juncture, what I want to do is continue just doing an up, up, down, down until all of the edges and these corners at the base here come good. So I'll do an up, up, down, down. Have a look, see if everything, those edges are not good and those corners are not, so I'm going to do another one. Up, up, down, down. And I now look and see, yep, those edges are good and those corners on the bottom are also good. Great, that's the position I want to be in. And at that point, either you'll get these last 2 will be solved and your cube will be solved, or else you'll have this, and this is the only other scenario that you'll have. And it is 2 corners that are in their position but rotated. And you can see if we just turn the cube around, you can see that the first of these corners, the yellow corner, that needs to rotate in a clockwise manner. So the yellow has to go up to there, so it's turning around clockwise. The other corner, if we look at it, needs to rotate in an anti-clockwise manner. And that will always happen. You'll always have one needing to go clockwise, the other anti-clockwise. If you happen to have both needing to rotate in the same direction, someone's been messing with your cube. You need to pull it apart and start again. So when we have this, and it doesn't make any difference where the two corners are. So we could end up with one here and one over here, or one here and one here. Any two corners on the cube. What we want to do is just hold the cube so that both corners are on the same upper face. So that could be like this. They're both on the upper face. Could be like this. Either of them will work. I'm going to hold it like this. And I'm going to begin by saying the corner at the front. I just want to have one corner at the front. So the other one could be here, here, or here. Corner at the front, which direction does it have to turn? Now I note that the green has got to go up like that. So it's turning around like this. And if I continue doing that, you can see that my face here is turning this way. If it had to rotate like this, anti-clockwise, then I would be wanting to turn the face in that direction. So to rotate this into position, I'm going to do 2 of my up, up, down, downs. And I'm going to do it using the direction that I need to go. So it's this direction. Up, up, down, down. Up, up, down, down. There we go. And you can see that that has now been rotated correctly. Obviously, I need to fix what's happened here. And so I'm going to now put the second corner into this position, just turning that upper face. And I'm going to undo the moves that I just did to rotate this corner. To rotate this corner, I did an up, up, down, down, turning this face first. Guess what undoing will be? It'll be an up, up, down, down, turning this face first. And if you look at the direction that that corner needs to rotate, you'll see that that is actually going to move it into its correct orientation. So let's do that. Up, up, down, down, up, up, down, down. Now, of course, I had to bring it into that position, so I just turn it back, and you can see that everything has been solved. So I hope that is a reasonably simple way, certainly for a beginner, of how to solve the cube, just using the one algorithm. Obviously there's a little bit of thought. Nothing here is completely mindless, and certainly thinking about setups and different scenarios that happen with the edges, but in terms of having to remember long, complicated algorithms, no, not at all. I hope that helps, and thanks for watching.